So before y'all start clowning me and getting mad in the comments talking about you don't know what you're talking about, to be specific, I don't necessarily hate Soul Eater, but I hate the main character Maka Albon. Now first from context, Soul Eater is a supernatural action anime set in a world where students at the Death Weapon Meister Academy, aka the DWMA, train to fight evil beings, with the academy being ran by Lord Death and his goal being to maintain peace in the world. So in the show you can either be a Meister who is someone that can control the weapon, or the partner of a Meister who is just a weapon that turned into a weapon. The story follows the characters of Maka Albon, Meister, and her weapon partner Soul Evans, who turns into a scythe, Black Star and his weapon partner Tsubaki, and Death the Kid, Lord Death's son, with his twin pistol partners Liz and Patty. Now before I begin my hating, I have to admit the show doesn't necessarily have a true main character or protagonist, as everyone in the show does their own part, but let's be honest, if you actually watch the show, Maka's made out to be the main person, so I'ma just keep hating. But let's start off with the fact that this imbecile doesn't get stronger at all. Now to be fair, in the beginning of the show, she was throwing hands quite a bit, and I genuinely thought she was going to become one of, if not the strongest in the show. But as the show progressed and basically every character including the weapons went through big changes, Maka just used to plateau and stay where she's at, with her falling back from a protagonist role into more of a glue that holds all the characters together. Plus the show damn near did it to her themselves, as they kept making her the clear, determined, smart girl, when in reality she could have had way more character progression. Secondly, we have to talk about the fact that damn near every side character was either more interesting or had more qualifications to be the main character than she did. First, let's start off with Black Star. So Black Star is the last surviving member of the Star Clan, which is a clan of assassins who used to do anything for money, which eventually led them to being corrupt and becoming into somewhat demons. And because of this, the DWMA, or I think Lord Death, had to eliminate all of them, leaving only Black Star since he was only a baby at the time. Quick side note, but was that not one of, if not the best main character storylines you'd expect for that type of show? Way better than Maka. Personality wise, Black Star is loud, brash, and pretty self-confident, often showing that he'll surpass God or become the biggest star in the room. Don't let the arrogant shit fool you, as he's a combat genius, as physically he's probably the most gifted in the entire show and the best at hand-to-hand combat as well. Soul wavelength wise, he probably has one of, if not the strongest soul wavelengths in the show, only second to Dr. Stein, and his weapon completely suits him perfectly, with it being able to transform into different type of forms. Character wise, he's someone who starts off as someone who's brash and overly cocky, but as time goes on he matures and learns the importance of humility and teamwork and inner strength. In him learning that his Star Clan heritage doesn't define who he is probably one of the most beautiful moments in the entire show. Next up, we got Lord Death's son, Death the Kid. Being born as Lord Death's son, Death the Kid basically had everything you could imagine: power, strength, riches, everything one could desire. But despite that, he wanted to work hard and be able to do all these things by himself, which led to the decision of him going to the DWMA, as he wanted to be able to be a good leader and also learn how to use his soul powers a bit more correctly, as he himself is going to be the god of death one day. Now in my opinion, this is one of the reasons why I fuck with Death the Kid probably the most of everyone in the series, as he's someone who you probably won't even know he came from such high beginnings, as he's such a humble person. Now power wise, he's for sure one of the strongest in the show, as him being a son of Lord Death gives him a lot of abilities that many others don't. And I also believe he had a main character worthy type of character development, as he went from someone who sought perfection and everything being symmetrical to being someone that understands that the world being indifferent is what makes it such a beautiful place. Now lastly, in my characters who I believe are better than Maka Albon in being the main character is our own weapon himself, Soul Evans. So Soul Evans is the weapon partner of Maka Albon and is one of the central characters of Soul Eater. He transforms into a demonic scythe and is arguably the most emotionally complex character in the entire series. Now on the outside, Soul likes to portray that he's an easygoing, sarcastic, and too cool to care type of guy, but in reality it's a mask that he uses as a defense mechanism to hide his inner vulnerability and confusion. One of his inner conflicts was the fear of madness that he had within himself, as after fighting Kronos, some of the black blood went inside him, which eventually made him experience visions of a demonic penis inside his soul, which he just called the Little Demon, with the entity symbolizing the madness trying to take over him and always whispering temptations, telling Soul to abandon reason and just give in to the chaos. But Soul, being the weapon of Maka, was someone who made sure that would never happen and would never want to put her in that situation. The other one of his inner conflicts is probably his insecurity of his strength. As being Maka's weapon, he constantly compares himself to people like Death the Kid and Black Star, and he worries he's not good enough or not strong enough or even not cool enough to protect her, as his laid-back demeanor masks a deep fear of failure. Now as the show progresses, Soul's arc is about reclaiming his identity from fear and expectation. By the end of the series, Soul learns that being cool isn't about because he becomes an invincible swagger, but it's about facing your fears, staying by your partner, or Maka, and starts running from the parts of himself he used to be ashamed of. Now if I'm to be honest, there are like 2 or 3 more characters I could have made some deep dives on about how they're way better than Maka or more suited to be the main characters of the show, but I guess that's enough hating on Maka for now, as the show is still pretty good. Anyways, y'all, hope y'all enjoy y'all day, and God's bless me and I hope he blesses you.